Hi again, everyone, and welcome to the September 11th edition of Litter Media Live. I'm Dan Ramey, and flying solo today. Thank you so much for watching on this September 11th. Many remember it as 9/11, a day that has stayed with us now 22 years. Boy, difficult to believe that it's been that long ago, but many of us can remember where we were, what we were doing on that date, September 11th of 2001. We'll explain coming up a little bit later on in the program if you are just now joining us and maybe you don't know what happened on that date. Hard to believe it's been this long, but we'll explain as we remember 9/11 coming up shortly. Right now, let's start off with a look at what our forecast has for us today, looking at sunshine and cooler. Temperatures 82. I had a morning meeting, and that's why we're on a little bit late this morning. And we had an outdoor meeting, and it was fantastic sitting outside. Quite pleasant weather if you're walking downtown or doing anything outdoors today. Clouds expected tomorrow and even cooler temperatures. Highs only around 75 tomorrow. Wednesday and Thursday will be near identical. Back to some sun with highs of 72 and sunshine expected on Friday. Highs of 75. Temperatures for your game time will most likely be in the mid-60s on Friday. Should tell you that with tomorrow, we're looking at the potential for some shower activity, especially for those up north of the Ross County area. So in Pickaway County, Franklin County, chances are you may run into some showers tomorrow, from what we're being told by those who do the forecast. Coming up, we'll take a look at the news topics for today. We'll also visit with sports, look at the weekend, and also remembering 9/11. Details are coming up in just a moment, but first, this from our friends at Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. They've been doing this for nearly 50 years. So if you have a question about the heating or the cooling in your home or plumbing, make sure you contact Accurate. You can do so by clicking on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com for Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. News is next.
Budweiser beer, the king is second.
Who drinks Budweiser? You know the type. The people who grind. Those who don't back down. And the ones who don't quit. They say all people are 6 degrees of separation away from each other. But some are just a six-pack away. The people who share the same spirit, share the same beer. This Bud's for you.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
All right, time to take a look at the news topics across the Scioto Valley today. And we start down in Pike County, where we're learning that news out of Pike County showing that Centrus Energy Corporation has announced that it expects to begin first-of-a-kind production of high-assay, low-enriched uranium starting next month, approximately 2 months ahead of schedule. This all taking place at the American Centrifuge plant. This will be the first new U.S.-owned uranium enrichment plant to begin production since 1954. Well, Friday morning, as we were talking to you, this event was going on. So we can tell you now that the Chillicothe Marching Cavaliers took top honors at the Pickaway-Ross Battle of the Bands Friday morning. They did this by a 6-vote margin, just ahead of two-time defending champ Unioto. Payne Valley was third. Congratulations, kids, on that fun. Several fall events are scheduled by the Rascal Mobile Unit at the Circle Area Humane Society up in Circleville. They're accepting applications for Pickaway County residents only. for $35 cat vouchers to include a spay or neuter and rabies vaccine. They're also accepting applications for October 1st and October 24th for dog spay and neuter clinics. Again, that taking place at the Circle Area Humane Society. The Ross County Farm Bureau and the Ross Soil and Water Conservation District are sponsoring a Career Day event for future Farmers of America students. Over 75 Ross County FFA students are expected to participate in Explore Careers in Ag Day. That'll be taking place at the Ross County Fairgrounds and the Dunlap Ridge Farm, also on State Route 104. It's all happening tomorrow. So if you've got a kid in the FFA, make sure that they know about this event if they are not signed up for it just yet. The Pickaway County Airport Fly-In takes place this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be free hot dogs and hamburgers from 11:30 to 2 and opportunities to take a flight as well. The Kestrel Warbirds Experience Team will be on site with their T-6 Texan as well. Pickaway County Airport is on McGrady Road near Circleville, just as you cross into the Ross-Pickaway County line there in Circleville. Also, news of note, Ohio University Chillicothe is accepting applications for the Bruce Lombardo internship at Hopewell Culture National Historical Park. The unique internship is in honor of Bruce Lombardo, retired teacher, published author, conservationist, and biologist who worked at the Hopewell Culture National Historical Park, as well as several other cultural sites in the area. The deadline for applications is this Sunday. You can get more details on our website at littermedia.com. In Pike County, work is set to begin today on a series of 4 culvert replacements on State Route 124 by the Pike County ODOT forces. All 4 locations are between Drybone Road and Dogwood Lane on State Route 124. It'll be closed from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. for this construction. So I saw the sign on that over the weekend as I was coming off of Idaho Hill. And I looked at my wife, I said, "Oh, what are we dealing with here, I wonder?" And, of course, we kind of rolled our eyes like, this is part of living in the country, and especially down in Pike County. But the good thing was it wasn't going to affect our travel in that fashion, but there are some folks in western Pike County that will be dealing with that today. All right, coming up, we'll look at sports, our weekend review, and we'll take a look at this date in history. But first, we want to tell you about our friends at Scioto Valley Dumpsters. I tell you, if you're looking for a cleanup job, you've got a cleanup job you need done, they can do that. They can do demo work for you as well. But they've also got dumpsters, and they'll place that dumpster where you need it, put everything in it, and then they'll haul it all away for you. Give Carl a call at 740-253-8389 for Scioto Valley Dumpsters, and tell them that Dan and Mike sent you. On the way, sports next.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
Big yards, small yards, hilly yards, silly yards. Every yard is unique, and every yard, no matter how much you love it, can be uniquely frustrating to mow. That's why Country Clipper is designed to tackle any obstacle imaginable. It's the perfect mower for even the most imperfect yard. Country Clipper, engineered for easy.
At Rathkamp Financial, we believe in building client relationships for the long term, guiding you through the stages of wealth with a plan and bringing you closer to reaching your financial dreams. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust with our customized investment solutions.
Time for sports, and over the weekend we had several high school activities going on. One of them included the Zane Trace Cross Country Invitational. Dina's Ryan Reichendaler won the individual title at the Zane Trace event. Benton County's Samuel Boyd was second, and Chillicothe's Jaden Beverly was third. On the girls' side, Katie Zhang of Tays Valley was your individual champ, with Westfall's Caitlin Shipley taking fifth place. The Ohio State football Buckeyes, despite picking up a win over the weekend over Youngstown, 35-7, slipped in the college football poll. They're down to number 6 now as they prepare for this next round against Western Kentucky coming up this weekend. The Battle of Ohio got underway yesterday. It was slow, sluggish for both teams, but then the Bengals never got on track. Meanwhile, the Browns started rolling. 24-3 the final there, and two quarterbacks over $500 million on the field last evening, but the Browns got the good out of that. So congratulations to Cleveland, 1-0. First time they have won back-to-back home openers since I think it was 1933 or 1993. It seems like 33, but 1993 and 94. Browns will be hosting, no, they're on the road, aren't they? They're on the road to Pittsburgh next Monday night. Meanwhile, the Bengals will be battling the Baltimore Ravens as the interdivisional activity continues next weekend. The Ravens are off to a 1-0 start after a win yesterday. The Pittsburgh Steelers, if things don't get changed from what happened yesterday, looks like it'll be a long season. Reds picked up a win yesterday as they welcomed back in the lineup Joey Votto and also Jonathan India. They both hit home runs, and there were a couple other home runs hit in that game too. The Reds salvaging their series against the Cardinals, 7-1 the final yesterday, off today, and they'll open up a 3-game set in Detroit tomorrow evening. The Guardians suffered a 2-1 loss to the Angels. They will stay out west, and they open up a series in San Francisco with the Giants tonight. Chillicothe High School football and cheerleading alumni night is coming up September 22nd. Alumni cheerleaders, you can sign up to cheer the first half of the game and receive free admission. You can order shirts and find more information on the links that you'll find on our Facebook page here. Alumni football players, they ask that you RSVP to receive free admission and be recognized at halftime. You can order T-shirts and find out more again through a QR code on the link on our website, so check that out. I don't know if you can see this, but there is a banner there that says, "Our chili is red hot." I remember when Susie Cunningham brought that cheer back a few years ago, and it was really cool to hear them. And along with the Rumble, 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 we need a fumble. All that taking place on September 22nd. Not to be outdone, don't forget that the Paint Valley and Westfall alumni football game is coming up this weekend as well. The series is tied at a game apiece. Talked about this a few weeks ago, and we'll give you some more information about it in the coming days. We'll be out of Paint Valley this weekend. Our Litter Media game of the week will be Westfall and Paint Valley. Here's a review of some of the extras we have for you from this past Friday night. Steve Evans, the Circleville Tigers, boy, they continue to look for their first win on the year. Meanwhile, the bands performed at halftime, and there is Aaron Walters, 5 touchdown passes on the night, and leading the Braves to a backyard brawl victory over the Circleville Tigers. But again, we'll be out at Paint Valley with Mike Smith and Tom Beard with the play-by-play, with Litter Media Radio up and running for this weekend's contest. Week 2 of the SVC football season again, the Westfall Mustangs traveling to take on the Paint Valley Bearcats. All that and more coming your way. Yes, indeed, we'll go to this stage in history coming up in just a moment. But first, these words from our sponsors.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Before we go on, I want to take a moment to say hi to everybody watching. Thank you, Brenda Woods, for checking in, along with Donna Wellinghoff, also Amy Stuckey, Rick Bethel, good to see you today, Mary McAllister, and also Donnie Brownfield and Steve Lewis. Thank you for checking in and watching the program today. Well, first a personal note. It was on this date in history, 1982, in which Missy Potter became Missy Ramey. So happy anniversary to my darling bride. And I use this as a lead-in to today's This Date in History, and I'll explain for you as we take a look and remember those who we lost on this date in 2001. Approximately 8:46 a.m. It was a clear Tuesday morning, much like what we have today. An American Airlines Boeing 767 loaded with 20,000 gallons of jet fuel crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. That was the first of two attacks on the trade centers, leading to both collapsing. A few minutes later, I should say, airliner attack on the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. More than 3,000 people died in the attacks, and over 10,000 were treated for injuries. It was a time where our nation pulled together, perhaps more unified than we ever had been since World War II on this date in history. I know many of us were impacted in the fact that we couldn't believe what we were seeing transpire in front of us. I did not see any of this happen. I was on the radio at the time, and we didn't have a TV in the studio to see what was happening, and the internet still was not something that was, easily used as it is today. And so I did not get to see much of this until later in the day. I will tell you, it changed how we did everything on radio. It certainly did. And it changed travel for many folks as everything was shut down in airports. And I guess I'm saying this for like the kids in my Sunday school class. They're teenagers. They weren't alive at the time. So it's important for us to talk about these events and share with them to let them know the significance of what happened on that day. I will tell you that Missy and I were celebrating our wedding anniversary then it was Damon's Steakhouse here in Chillicothe. And I've told this story before, but it bears worth saying again. We came out from the restaurant. There were cars everywhere. I mean, we walked in and it was calm, somber, everyone talking about the events of the day. And when we came out from the dinner, there were cars lined up everywhere, gas stations, backed out onto Payne Street. I got into the car. We drove around the business loop heading back to Pike County, and I looked down on Main Street, and the cars were backed up there at the gas stations too. Bob Neal was on radio at the time, and I remember calling him and saying, Bob, what's going on? And he says, the place has gone nuts. People are they're panicking over what to do about gasoline, what the future is going to hold for us. There was a lot of uncertainty at that moment. And by the time we got back to the Ramey Ranch, there was only one light on. The house was darkened, but you could see it illuminated by the TV. And Dan Jr., who was a junior in high school at the time, was sitting there awaiting President Bush to address the nation. And we walked in, and I said, "What's going on?" And he says, "Dad, I know what I need to do." And that was when he made the somber decision to join the military forces. And imagine that happened for a lot of people at that time. Those that were in high school, military age, those who were already serving. And not everybody made it back from the conflict that seemed to go on forever. And that's never an easy time to go to war, but it was time for a nation to strike back, and they did. The paths and courses of many lives have changed since then, but if anything we've learned about it is patriotism, holding it close to our hearts, and to realize that we have a peacekeeping responsibility amongst those in the world. It's something that those who have signed on the dotted line to serve our country, they know what that's about, and we appreciate their service and their sacrifice. Those who have been in the war, those who have served their time and now are out migrating back into society, they're still dealing with issues from this event. Many lost loved ones, but many lost loved ones on that day also. I recall talking to my friend Dave Tenner, who many of you know here locally, and his daughter working at the Pentagon at the time. I can't imagine what parents were going through. Friends that we know that either had relations who were living in New York City at the time. I mean, the city was brought to its knees. And those who actually knew people that were in the towers when they were hit. And, of course, the plane that went down, Flight 93, there in Pennsylvania. Much to remember on this day, and that's why we remember those that we lost on this date in 2001. That's it for the program today. Thank you for watching. We're back with you again tomorrow with another edition of Litter Media Live.